Hello everyone. Excited to be gaming. I don't know anything about this game, but I'm excited to learn. I'm a big fan of basically people revisiting a PS1, you know, scanline aesthetic. Yeah. Looks cool. We need that flashing though. Big fan of Donkey? No. I can't stand YouTube. Most YouTube content, and if it's popular, I probably hate it. So I try not to watch YouTube content so that I don't develop a distaste for the people who make it. Having heard some people debate his video game videos or his opinion videos, I'm extremely glad that I do not watch them. Which is not to say that I think they're incorrect, but they would probably drive me insane. I know he published the game. Oh boy, I better get used to that. Gonna be the first thing everyone brings up. I don't want to know, care, or think about that. It's immaterial. Boop, 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 boop. As I was saying before, though, I'm a huge fan of games that use black as their primary color and then carve out their world in bright color accents on top of that. No Rest for the Wicked had a lot of that. This game is everything. Yeah, the soundscape's really good. Might need to turn. Actually, this may be a headphone game. Anyway, sorry about raising my voice. Man, the pixel reflection is fucking amazing. It's even kind of accurate in that it wiggles further. I don't have a cursor, but it wiggles back and forth more the further away from the water it is, and the closer it gets. God damn, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, I've scared chat away now. Anyway, I can't tell you how it makes it causes me psychic damage whenever someone like Ego Raptor points out the most basic game design of something like Mega Man X, and it's all people can talk about for like a week. Like, people have never even once thought about that, and that bums me out. It hurts me. It hurts me how, like, did you know that in Mario, if you grab a mushroom, you get bigger? And everyone's like, oh! And then every time you get a mushroom, or it's actually the clouds and shrubs thing, I get, now that I'm making a more accurate comparison. Anyway. Stuff drives me batty. Absolutely batty. To me, I guess it's the equivalent of, like, Lord of the Rings, Aragorn kicking the helmet. Does that kill you? Shploop. Looks like it. Alright. Now, you see, I can appreciate the game design here. You see, it's a low-stakes place to tell you that water kills you. And even you'll note the difference in color. The safe platforms have this bright green, but in the water, you see that's not there, so you begin to associate darker purples with danger. Hopefully people bring that up every time, because it's the second screen. And, oh yeah, of course, I guess, okay, hold on, if I'm getting full YouTube here. You go left from the introductory screen in a manner similar to Metroid, and there, of course, is a secret waiting for you, celebrating your adventuresome. But also, you have areas you can't access right away, telegraphing to you, the player, that this is a Metroidvania, and that you might uncover new abilities as you go. Anyway. YouTube. This is my problem. This is my failing as a content creator, is that I resent the simple pleasures. Look at that. Look at the lighting, though. Accurate pixel shadows. I'm super impressed already. A lot of the visual flair and certainly the audio in these initial screens is on point. The the wavy parallaxing. Well, it's not really parallaxing, but it's more like a pixel shader in the background. The wobbles. 10 pounds if you do the whole stream in that voice. Goodness, it makes my blood pressure go up. And here's the thing. You know what the thing is? I just admitted to not even watching the videos. So I'm getting annoyed about what I imagine them to be. How tough am I? Thanks for the sub. This game looks sexy. Fuck, give me 10 of these. Give me an JRPG like this. Hey, how tough am I? If you want a JRPG, if you want a PS1 era JRPG, a Euden Chronicle 100 Heroes just came out. And then I guess beyond that, there's Sea of Stars is a pretty recent release that has pretty impeccable pixel art. Anyway. Yeah, I need a red circle and a red arrow. Oh, is that one of the animals in this animal well? I like the fonts. I like the pixel fonts. Ooh. Also, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. You have to be able to think about games on that level to create your own or influence design. And I obviously don't know what level of input. But see, now, okay, so you see, this is one of those moments. We're gonna have to think laterally, folks. Or go down here. The pixels aren't square. They're like, hold on a minute. This is a really interesting way to replicate a CRT look. With the filter on, they're kind of like this shape, like a rupee on its side. But they're not all like that. Only the ones on the edge are like that. So if there's like two of those in a row, they lock together into one like continuous bar of color. But that replicates the sort of phosphor glow that you get off the edge of a photovoltaic cell. Excuse me, cell. I've been really curious because there's been a lot of discourse from audiovisual enthusiasts on the internet about how to reattain the glowing CRT look on modern displays, and this is a very artful interpretation, and it looks great. Everybody until now has tried to recreate it through mostly mechanical means. I mean, you can slather some blur on it and stuff like that, which helps, but... Oh. And we behold the next switch above. Howmstever, we see that it's fading into a cave. So rather than think that we can craft the, or that we can crank the platform up high enough, and lo, that is why this candle's here, to tell us that we can't. What if the candle were up on the ceiling? You'd think you could crank the platform higher and you might pursue that as a solve to the puzzle, but you can't. So then you go to this screen, you're like, well, the cave faded this way, and then you come over here, and then you see the platform. And you're like, aha. Well, I must merely get up to the second floor then. I'll just keep going right. More platforming, I see. Also, it's getting more ominous. The background effect is shifting. Getting more earthbound. I love analyzing games and just talking about nuances and cool shit. Seeing people miss out on so many of the details devs spend years putting in hurts. Yes, it does. I thought about that for a while. I can't remember who said it. And at some point, I think it's become a repeated axiom to the point where crediting the original person saying it is difficult. But the axiom goes something like, there's no player that will see everything. But between all players, everyone will see all of it, if that makes sense. Like, everyone appreciates different details, and everyone's going to have a different experience with something, but that's just kind of how art goes. A person looks at a painting, two people are going to see and appreciate different details. Just part of the process. Oh. Got a little Pac-Man ghost? I really like the sound. It's different if it's going vertical or horizontal. Oh. Okay. Yeah, the synth is so outside of the soundscape in terms of the frequency, so you hear it over everything. It sounds like a shark. It's similar to the sound you make when you jump, but more evil. Yeah. I'm here to see if this is extremely overhyped or not. The marketing materials have been sparse. If it hasn't been marketed, then how could it be overhyped? I mean, everything I've seen so far is pretty much pinnacle craft in game design. But it's a, you know, it's a bleepy bloopy platformer. Metroidvania. Tricked. That's kind of cool too. Platforming errors only reset you in the screen. Getting hit by an enemy knocks you back to the checkpoint. Two different kinds of death. Two different kinds of failure. Look at those lighting effects and smoke. Also, I like how they give you, again, smart design. You can only carry 3, but there's 4 here, so you're going to throw 1. They give you permission to throw 1 without using an item that you might need later. Also, the first time you pick it up, it shows you 1 out of 3. So there's an extra one just for you to throw, and then more on the next screen, in case you really like it. Dude, those smoke effects? Fantastic. I also love how there's these shiny columns in the background. They light up extra more when the firecrackers are going off. Ah. Yeah, this is the best kind of tutorial where you don't explain something, you just give people a screen where there's one thing to do. It's actually a very Portal method. There's one interaction to make, and that interaction demonstrates a behavior of the game. And then you start layering those behaviors together. A plus B equals C, then C plus A equals D, and now you know how to get all the way to G or F or H. Because there was no other way to do it. The problem is when this kind of design extends into puzzles, which is, whenever I think about that, I think about the Indiana Jones thing, where it's like, there'll be puzzles, and it just shows him shoving a wheel into the wall in the exact spot that the wheel could go, and it's the only spot the wheel could go. There's a lot of that too. So it's like people play an entire game that's just thoroughly linear, and there's no real puzzles, but people think there are because they're doing puzzly things. I don't know, that stuff gets on my nerves a little bit, but it works, you know. Games are all illusory anyway, so who cares? I noticed that with, what was it? Monument Valley. Everyone was like, oh, puzzle game. And I was like, it's not, though. It's not. You only ever hit one button at a time. It just tricks you into thinking it is. Ah, you only need one pop. Caves of Cud? That sounds like a 1981-ass game. You gotta be able to drop onto that item, right? Yeah, there it is. Unlit candle. Alright. We cranking. I also like how when you're standing on the platform, it sounds like the crank clicks at exactly double the speed, and it's a very rhythmic kind of tapping. Ah. Oh. Good map. It's a good map. Boop. Damn. Can't quite make the jump, huh? Hit! Nope. Mmm. Are these the animals? Also, I have health now. Maybe it was always there and I just wasn't looking. Onward to the Penguin Kingdom. That's some good whooshin'. Teach me your squirrel power, squirrel spirit. I'm gonna guess running on walls. Double jump. Oh. Oh. Awesome. I'm playing Electroplankton now? Splish. That's pretty satisfying. Because at least it's like, it's a method of interaction that's more analog. It's not like, is this switch set to the right thing? Multiple possible solutions. Which was kind of the fun of things like Half-Life 2. Puzzles being physics-based. And Jesus Christ, Tears of the Kingdom just like, took that concept to an outrageous level. Ah, man. At this point, so they've already demonstrated competency in terms of design in a number of ways, and then also the art and audio and controls are all pretty demonstratively good. This game is good, unless it suddenly stops. Like, if it's only an hour long, that might be a thing, but if it maintains this quality, I mean, for 20 bucks, I think it's 10% off too because it just launched. This is fucking awesome. Except I don't know how to solve. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's on the screen. I feel stupid, so the game sucks now. There should be an experience meter popping up every time I do something. Every time. I just want to believe that there's going to be a rich calendar of add-on content. I need seasonal rewards. I want to customize my Animal Well banner and profile picture so that when all of my Animal Well friends see my online profile, they behold the splendor and uniqueness that is meow. Okay. Neat. Cool. I was hoping they would get a lot more mileage out of the effects that they are already showing in the game, so. Yeah, it needs a battle pass. I could play Fallout 76. How many battle passes does Fallout 76 have? Ah! Oh, that should have killed me. Oh. I'm kind of excited for the next season of Diablo 4, although they're doing the exact thing that I suspected they would but hoped they wouldn't, which is just make the game easier. Everything they're saying about their like update is like, you won't have to think anymore. Oh, we put all these things on there so you don't have to think. It's great. You just take the bigger number. That's what everybody wants, right? Yeah. Oh, but I have to re-switch the switch. How do I do that? Oh, there's a switch there. Okay. But alien power armor skin the other day. I'm so cool now, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows. I gotta go around the top. I'm such a ding dong. I was right there. Nobody knows how cool I am in Fallout 76. All I have is the extra cool clown skin. Ow. Was the grind to level up after you completed the main story? Well, then you were upset that the game didn't give you bigger numbers faster. Because the game is grind. What were you grinding for, Supreme? Was there something you needed to be higher level to do? I guess you can do harder dungeons. But isn't, like, the point of Diablo 4 is to grind. It's supposed to take a long time. I don't know, the Destiny kind of hit this problem where like everyone's like, it's taking too long. So they tried to speed everything up, and then like I think once they start speeding things up, it gets way easier to understand that it's all pointless. I think. I could be wrong, but I don't know. That's always so tricky with action RPGs, is because the player base will tell you every time, 10 times out of 10, that they want things to be faster and they want to feel stronger. But that's not actually what they want, because then they get bored. So it's like, it's such a difficult process to balance those things. I thought 4 was in a pretty good spot when it launched, but I also didn't grind it to level 100. So, I don't know, maybe if they had drip fed me, can I go, do you think I can go, I can probably go below the screen, right? Maybe if they had drip fed me, stuff faster. Oh, this is so cute. So what do I know? Especially if the goal is like player retention and not necessarily curating a specific experience. Whoops. Oh. Normal egg. Rating issue in WoW where people wanted harder raids but also wanted them to be available day one and be able to complete them with just their 3 friends. Grinding Paragons just got really repetitive for me. Yeah, so repetition is an issue, and Diablo is pretty repetitive. That's why I thought the goal would be to like... Oh, on the other side. I thought the goal would be to have these mutators in place in Diablo 4 that would make you really, like, have to question the way you play it and swap out your build. But I think people didn't like that. Ooh. Oh, the motors are on. Yeah, it's tough. I guess it depends what kind of experience you're trying to court and what kinds of players. I'm worried about that progression with Helldivers 2 as well, but it seems like the designers are much more dedicated to a particular experience. Diablo 4 is going to like bend over backwards to try and retain players because that's why it exists. And so that's fine. Whatever. I felt satisfied at like level 70 and put the game down. Same here. Yeah. That's about what I felt. But, you know, I wouldn't mind a reason to go back. That's kind of what seasons are to me. Ideally, they make enough gameplay tweaks that it changes the way you play or makes playing a new character or a new build more interesting than it would be otherwise. I kind of liked the idea that they were going for with last season, where they had the dungeons that had traps, but there were also bonuses for finishing quickly. So it actually, like... Now, to be fair, I didn't play any of these dungeons, but I thought, what a cool idea. You know, you're trying to mix it up. You're trying to reward different kinds of skill. You're making player input still matter. But people didn't like it, so they took it out. Yeah, repetitive gameplay isn't the problem. Uninteresting gameplay is. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. That's kind of the problem with things like Destiny, is unless you graduate up into PvP or raids, pretty much, the seasonal tasks and things are pretty mindless. But the only intellect is like figuring out how to, or the only interesting and somewhat non-recurring challenge is figuring out how to stack bounties for like maximum simultaneous progression. But even that kind of falls apart because oh, this is cool. The progression in question is usually not that invaluable. Oop. It's like Glimmer or XP. XP is always nice. This is a cool way to do this. Yeah, the water effects look... all the effects in this game have been incredible. Yeah, the way there's like little bright white flickery pixels in there to make it look like it's shimmering. This game not only has great pixel art, but it has great pixel art stylization to recapture the look of how pixel art looked on a crisp, like on a bright CRT in a dark room. Oops. Ugh. There we go. Now, you see, this is one of those moments... Can I make that jump? I can. Bawand. Oh, bubble wand? Boop. Boop. Oh, okay. Oh, you can only have one out at a time. Okay. It's like item 1, item 2. Oh, because you personally don't like a game doesn't mean it's bad? Oh, for sure. Yeah, I remember when I first started working at Machinima and thinking that I had broken into the big time, thinking that I had finally, like, arrived on a team with fellow professionals. I remember getting into kind of a discussion with somebody, and they ultimately made the point that, like, games' only purpose is to be entertaining, and if they feel a moment of non-entertainment while playing a game, it's the game's fault. And, like, it makes it a bad game if they experience a moment of displeasure of any kind. If it's a moment of controller confusion or anything, because I think it was about controls. He was like complaining like, oh, why don't they just do the same controls every time? I was like, well, because I have to try to make different games sometimes, and maybe there's better ways to do it. And then it just kind of devolved into like, I was like, well, you got to meet the game halfway, and he was like, no, I don't. The game should come to me, is essentially what he was saying, and then it kind of devolved into... Games are purely for my pleasure, and the best game makes everyone the happiest is essentially the idea, which is totally wrong. Holy shit, it's wrong. And that was disheartening. Those are times when people can be wrong. Making blanket statements about the purpose of art. Whoops. Awesome. I guess you gotta ride the bubble down. Bloop. Yeah, that's also true. It is okay to like things that others consider bad. Because people have bad taste. Oh. Sploop. I love that. I love that sploop. want to like put the bubble further to the left. Well, I guess it kind of drifts that way. Maybe I can step on it. Or jump to it after it's kind of floated a little more. Yeah. Jump's not that high. Oh! Last of Us 2 is the most hated? I wouldn't say that. It's pretty universally acclaimed. It got like great reviews across the board. Edgelord internet bros singled it out for being antithesis to their worldview, but... So can you... Oh, you can. Okay, great. What? Why didn't I... Do I... I guess that means I can't fit through there. There's a little, like, Nort. I guess I need a different item. Yeah, a loud minority that hated it. Angry dudes. Oh, you can hit down to squish the bubble faster. Nice. Angry dudes on the internet love making themselves seem like a bigger group than they are. It's super weird. I'll bring this up as like a case study. We did a video about Gamergate 2 or whatever, mostly dismissing it as being stupid. But the comment activity on that video in particular is unique in that people will still come through and leave comments being like, these guys don't know what they're talking about, fuck these guys, and then like repeating the same points. And then those comments will get thumbs up immediately. Like 4 or 5 thumbs up, boom, 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 right away. So it's not organic at all. It's like some fucking weirdos that are trying to astroturf and make it seem like their view is way more represented than it actually is. And it's the only comment activity I've ever seen like that. So it's pathetic and obvious. Also, like, I don't know, the way dudes talk, those kinds of dudes, they share, I don't know. It's weird that I remember, like, it's a lot of the same social dynamics as, like, conservative Christianity. Where it was always like, everyone's out to get us, we're actually the minority, we're right, we're like divinely justified for everything we do. And also, we're going to prove that by being so insecure that we have to keep telling ourselves that we're winning and right and the biggest group actually all the time. It's like this whole circle of like weird sadness. Anytime we get any kind of win, we're going to revisit that over and over and over to remind ourselves of the one time we got a W. Anyway. That's just how people get. It's just people. Talking about Ellie? Yeah, I guess. Last of Us Part 2 did portray trauma well, but to what end, I don't know. Aside from, okay, so this is my personal reaction to the game. I've experienced trauma in my life too. So that's what kind of frustrates me about The Last of Us Part 2. It almost feels like trauma tourism. Like it didn't say anything about the human condition or trauma. It just showed people being traumatized. But good for the game. Most games don't understand trauma or even represent it all that well. So there's something there. And if seeing that helped people process their own traumas, which is what it kind of sounds like, then that's great. but my journey with trauma and with cycles of trauma is nothing like what that game showed. Which is why I kind of disconnected from it. I could see that it came from somebody else who had their own traumas and experienced them too, but I didn't see any of the, like, process to understanding in there. Only some, like, half of a first season style stuff. Of, like, I'm gonna set all these things up and establish all this stuff. And establish all these themes, but I'm not actually gonna explore them or do anything with them or say anything about them. Anyway, that was my experience with it. And also, it just, like... What kind of annoyed me about the screen time of the game is that it did all that in the first, like, 10 hours, and then it did it again, and then it did it again. Like, it just did Act 1 3 times in a row, just so I guess it could avoid actually moving anywhere or processing anything. Anyway, yeah, no, internet people got really weird about it for all the wrong reasons, because that's what they do. Yeah, pretty nihilistic ending. Except it wasn't actually. That's what fucking gets me, Foppish. If it were actually, and this is my grand criticism of the game, if it were actually dedicating to that, the ending would have been different. Instead, it was a very soft, inconclusive, do-nothing ending that dedicated to nothing, and just left it open for another game. So then you're getting into the fact that you're like, oh, you're selling me emotional nihilism, but as an ongoing package, because you're telling me to fucking wait for part 3. And that's the, like... That's when it's like, alright, you sold out, bitch. Like, you can't package me nihilism as a product. You lose. Unless you go as hard as something like Fight Club or something. So... at least Cyberpunk had a lot of meditations on punk philosophy and punk lifestyle in it. The only thing I took away from Last of Us Part 2 is that, well, some people can get away from trauma and some people can't. What? Thanks. Real folksy homespun wisdom from Papa Druckmann. We're not Last of Us 2 discoursing. No, I'm done. I'm gonna... Whoop. You want to see my bubble? Ooh. Nihilism as a service. Oh, there we go. I guess that's the other thing too, is I consider myself an enlightened nihilist, and I use that word begrudgingly. But I'm not like, I'm one step above, you know, teen dude, heat death of the universe, nothing matters, man. Free will's an illusion. I saw Fight Club. I don't even know. I guess Everything Everywhere All at Once would be the new version of that, of somebody that has just discovered existentialism. I'm smart enough to know that I have the capacity to think those things, but there's no point. So I try not to dwell on it too much. But that's, yeah, Last of Us Part 2 felt like dwelling on it for fun. And I'm like, why? Once you've actually gone through trauma, like, you understand the point of it and you understand its role in the human condition, but you don't seek it out for no reason, which is what Last of Us 2 felt like. It's weird. I remember thinking about, I watched the documentary about the reality show with the guy who in Japan who was just like secretly recorded and had to win all of his food and clothing and everything through magazine sweepstakes. It was one part about it. I mean, a lot of it stuck out to me. Really interesting documentary. Ooh. Thank you for the sub, Igao Comics. Appreciate that. One thing stuck out to me is that they didn't spend too long dwelling on people's reactions to it because most people were really entranced by it. But they did mention that older viewers, and especially viewers that had lived through World War II, were particularly upset by it. And that made a lot of sense to me. It's easy to be fascinated with trauma and hard times if you've never actually lived through them. Then you're just like, oh, what is human trauma? What's this like? I want to explore this and see what's going on. But when you have, to do that as an entertainment is like, it just feels wrong. It feels like it makes you sad. Like nobody should be having fun with this. Unless it's like for a reason. If you're gonna go there, it ought to be for a reason. And a lot of movies do this well. They go to dark places, but it's to explore and hopefully give the audience a point of catharsis for the trials that they undergo in their own lives. But yeah, where was any of that in Last of Us 2? It went to bad places just to go there, just to show they could, just to be different. So I don't know. That's where I'm like, okay, that's where it lost me. And that's pretty deep, by the way. The fact that you can say that about a game is I guess credit unto itself, because most games can't even support a statement like that. You can't even get to that point. But yeah. Okay, I gotta hit the buttons. I gotta hit the buttons. This is a cool way to do a pipe puzzle, basically. Yeah, I don't know. I will say too that trying to think of how to phrase this. This is a statement that reflects purely on 2000s and 2010s era games journalism. A lot of the folks that I ran into did not come from traumatized backgrounds because they were online writers, you know? That meant they grew up in a home that probably had a computer, probably had access to like literary materials, probably grew up in a larger city. Parents probably had connections in media. Was like a lot of really common threads that I figured out. And after a while, I started to figure out too that like, oh shit, man, I grew up poor and in an abusive household, and there's like these people conduct themselves differently. For a few, it took me a while to catch the vibe there. Man, look at this. Sorry, this like purple to green gradient on the left in this wall looks really good. Anyway. It wouldn't necessarily surprise me that if somebody, you know, grew up in a yuppie household with cable TV and leather couches and shit, they might be a little more infatuated with The Last of Us than I would. It might help them explore elements of their humanity they've never had to. Because, you know, they weren't abused by their parents or some shit. So I don't know. That's a big supposition to make. But it feels correct to me. Plug in my mouse? Oh, my mouse is tired. Hold on. Grew up in a good household, still have PTSD from high school. Damn. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's I think some of us cringe, depending on how old we are, cringe at like talking about our childhood traumas, but they do shape who we are. Treatment from our parents kind of establishes a baseline for human relationships going forward, so. Realizing I grew up in an abusive household made everyone being nicer and more well-adjusted make sense. Yes. For me, it's like the audacity of some people, but I get it. Like if you've only ever been given what you've asked for and never been punished for asking, then I get why people just ask for everything. Because it's a free act. There's no risk. Took me a while to get that too. I was just like, sometimes the breath was taken away from me about how like people would get a million things and then ask for more, especially in like work circumstances. People would just hoard, like kids hoarding all the toys. They never had their ass beat for that, I guess. I'm not suggesting that's the right answer. I think in my case might have been an overcorrection. All right, I got egg. Is that the point of coming here? Or is there another exit? Ah. Yeah, Dad is emotionally difficult. He still can't understand what mental illness is. Yeah, That's a grand benefit of growing up on the internet, I think. It's given a lot of people language to describe their emotional states. Because, yeah, I'll never forget one interaction I had with my dad, and it's one that kind of convinced me that maybe it's a lost cause. He made some offhanded comment about how all of his brothers and sisters have some sort of mental disorder. And I remember being on the phone with him, and I was kind of quiet for a second, and I was like, but not you? And he was like, nope. Not me. I made it out. And I just, again, sat there for a second, and I was like, you think so? And he was like, yeah. So I don't know. There's times like that where I'm like, bro, I lived with you for 18 years, and I have a different answer to that. Because I also have half your brain, but whatever. BMG Hunter. Thanks for the sub. Been watching you for nearly 15 years. Yeah, it has been about that long. 2011? Well, no wait, that would be 2009. Yeah, oof. I'm trying to think of when I might have appeared on video the first time. Probably in the 2010-2011 area. Extremely similar conversation with my pops. Yeah, yeah. It's tough. I mean, you can't like... My dad has I'm right brain, and I know that because I have it too, and I try to push back on it, but it's tough. If his brain tells him something, he cannot envision a reality where anything else might be true because his brain said it. It's just the brain. How can brain be wrong? Other people's brain can be wrong, but not my brain. My brain feels different. So anyway, he's got that brain, so I know that if I'm like, nah, man, you got a dash of something, he'll just be like, no, I know my brain. I was more infatuated with fringe or intense media that covered controversial topics when I was younger and sheltered. Now that I'm older, I've been through more shit, talked to more people, I can see I was mainly voyeur curiosity for a world I wasn't familiar with. Which is fine. That's fine. You know, that doesn't invalidate anything. But it does mean that it's not as, maybe as profound as some other things, or maybe as profound as people claim it to be. But yeah. I think that's totally normal. I remember watching like gross out stuff on the internet when I was younger. Now I've endured broken bones and shit. I know what that's like. That's okay. My parents told me about some of their neurodivergences, and I was like, any of this would have been relevant years ago, instead of me feeling like I was broken for this. Yeah. It's normal to mourn lost time, I suppose, but... Some people don't even get that. So at least you can, like, kind of talk with and bond with your parents about that. I have to, like, basically humor my dad, which feels bad, but that's what it amounts to. It's just like, just be like, Map. Look at this map, though. Ooh. Yep. It's fun stuff out there. Anyway, what was I talking about? Video games? Somewhere. Think he'll do a hate through of Alone in the Dark? The new one? Or the old one? I missed! Man, I'm bad at this. I haven't been over here. Ooh. You're gonna put my bubble jump into the test, huh? Oh, there's little lily pads. Blip. I wonder if they're gonna chomp me. Dad's brother moved in for a week when I was as a kid. He would walk around with no clothes after showers. Started charging my brother and me 25 cents for the drinks our pops got. God. Boy, that's an uncle for sure. I have to admit, I mean, I can bemoan an emotionally distant family, but at least... Ooh, another egg. At least they're not, yeah, stealing my soda. No! There's got to be, like, a walk-on-walls ability or something. To be able to get into a nook like that. Ah! Yeah, whatever. Blip! Yeah, I don't have any family that, like, defrauds me for money, which I know is the thing. And I'm lucky enough to have, like, parents that are in reasonably good health for their age. But, getting to that phase of life, though, where I'm gonna have to start thinking about that. I'm gonna have to start financially planning for that. Hopefully my dad's insistence that we spend no money when I was a kid will pay off long enough term. I mean, to hear my dad say it, they've stockpiled a decent amount of money. But who knows? American healthcare can be real fun. Real fun and real expensive. Oh yeah, there's these blocks. Just had that convo with my dad. It's important to have. It's important to have. As unpleasant and scary as it is. Fortunately in America, if your parents are like over or 60 or over, you might want to check in with them about the financial implications of long-term health care. Because that's I can light the candle. Because, like, legally, if you're their kids and they don't have any other next of kin, you're gonna have to handle it. Ugh. My mother has money aside, a long set-up will and life insurance, so we think everything is covered. That's good. That's good. Yeah, so this is such a weird topic to bring up. I apologize. It's just kind of anecdotal to what I was rambling about, but huge bummer to bring up. This is just kind of a downer game, though. Not in a bad way, by the way. Again, it reminds me a lot of Nights in the Nightmare. I've been thinking a lot about that game lately. But anyway. Stuff's important. Shared trauma is halved trauma. Oh, that's a fun little phrase. I did it. I've lit the candle. Alright, well. Yep, use the match. Lord Warkworth. My NC girlfriend has a lot on her plate to look forward to, trying to get her to the UK. Just in terms of American healthcare. I'm gonna try to bag me a therapist. We'll see how this goes. No particular reason. I feel like it's, oh, duck! I feel like it's good to have a connection or a relationship with one. But yeah, I'm gonna go to my primary care physician. Get a referral. I don't know if he's even gonna do it. We'll find out. I use LA's public healthcare option. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I know that like you're not always gonna like the first therapist you talk to. My goal, like the goal of any therapy, is to beat the therapist. So I'm gonna go in there guns blazing. I'm gonna hit him with all of my self-analysis, and he's gonna go, "Wow, you're smarter than me," and he'll clap. Excuse me, they'll clap. They'll clap at me, and I'll nod sagely. They'll hand me a certificate saying that I beat therapy in one shot, first try, no death, and then I can leave because I'll have my certificate. And then also, whenever anyone gets into any argument with me, I don't want to have to do it, but I will. I'll bring out my certificate and be like, motherfucker, check this out. Certified, bitch. Nothing wrong. Everything right. Too smart. Yeah. Had that mindset going to therapy for the first time. I mean, I'm sure everybody brings... That's the point of therapy, is to figure out the weird preconceptions you're bringing to relationships or encounters. And I guess there's many points to therapy, but you know what I mean. Wonder if this does anything to these guys. Nothing. Sure is pretty, though. I like how they all cast their own trail in the smoke. Eep! Speedran therapy by clipping through the door. Saying the secret password. I'm smarter. I'm built different. Oh, sure, you've had other people in here. Well, allow me to knock your socks off with my dazzling array of independent traumas and... Ew! Baffling, compensation techniques. This game is very pretty to look at, I agree. Oh heck, I thought there was a thing down there. Yeah. The second that therapist gives me any pushback about anything, I'm gonna pull up my gamer score on my phone. Knock his socks off. Their socks off, damn it. Sorry. I am a classically trained writer. It's funny the phases that there were. There was, first of it was he. He was the generic pronoun for any human being. And then there was a brief window where it was he or she. It was they if it was multiple, but if it was an individual of undetermined gender, it was always he or she. But he was always first. People were trying. I think it was like the late 90s to the mid-aughts is when like I tried to use that a lot and it became a little more popular. And then luckily, finally, in the last couple of years, we've clicked over into they being singular. So... I mean, that was always the case, honestly, just no one used it that way. Kind of like you being plural. You can also refer to a group. But, I remember being vexed by that for years and being like, why can't we just have an agendered third-person pronoun? English language can do it. Hello there. I wonder why there's a save point right in front of this very friendly creature. Oh. 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 Ooh, he made a little sound. Hmm. Ah. What if I eat his fruit? I like you, pal. You're alright. You're alright in my book. Even if you're a little shy. That was weird. Huh? Heard this game is like Halo 2 mixed with Halo 3. Any truth to that? Yeah. Yes. You know? I didn't really think about it like that before, but now it makes total sense. There's a little bit of Last of Us mixed in there too. And maybe just a pinch of Minecraft. Just a pinch. Oh. 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 The secret of the candles has been revealed. I think I detect an aftertaste of NBA Jam. Tasting notes of NBA Jam, Halo 2, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Dude, I can't wait for Final Shape. I can't wait. It's got to do so many things. It's got to try so hard. They're going to try so hard to be so Bungie. Oh, man. Imagine the cutscenes in Final Shape. Just imagine them. Because there were like 2 in Lightfall. Remember when the ball was here and the diamond was there at the beginning of Lightfall, and then at the end they were like that? And that's all that happened in the expansion? Is like a dude walked across a room? Fucking love Bungie, man. We don't deserve Bungie. The best game developers ever. Bungie. Oh. Oh, hello. Oh, little burb. A ghost burb. Ah, that's an interesting spin on a slide puzzle. Oh. 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 Clever. Feel Bungie and BioWare in the same boat? Yeah. I mean, I think they both, I mean, Bungie still has some of the original people there. I think BioWare has just been a total turnover. But there's definitely, I mean, having worked for one of these companies, the process is pretty definite. The owners or creative leaders or whatever, whoever got the company to the situation it was in, sell out, they cash a giant check. They still turn up because they're contractually obligated to. And because for the first couple of years when you sell out, everything's great. You have money everywhere, everyone's happy, everything's looking up. But the second anything goes wrong, or the second the money dries up, you just bail. You bail. And then people still follow the brand for some reason. And they think that, like, they think this time it'll be okay, but no, it won't. It just takes a while. So, I don't know. Maybe we're at that point in the phase. I got a bubble over these guys, maybe? Oh! I see it. Wait, there's a cave down there. Quixototalis, it's not even who am I talking about, it's which company am I talking about? New marathon's gonna be interesting? No, what? No! I mean, I know what you mean, so I'm trying not to be too negative, but it won't be interesting. It won't. An extraction shooter? It's already the opposite of interesting. Bungie doesn't make interesting games anymore, and they never will again. Ow. They're not in the business of making interesting games. Uh-oh. Oh, we got our little Zelda beeps. Oh! Okay. Oh, it reset all the switches too. Damn. Yeah. Be interesting to see how bad it will likely be. Well, yeah. I'm always fascinated by how, like, how desperation molds a game. You know? There's good kinds of desperation where, like, everybody passionately believes in this game or this idea and can't wait for it to exist. And then there's bad kinds where, because of corporate politics and maybe some misguided years of game production, now suddenly you have to deliver certain metrics. You have to show that you can repeat success. Which is a weird concept to begin with, given that, like, the best stuff is just like, the creative process can't be bottled. It can only be iterated. Midnight Medusa, thanks for the sub. Is the term extraction shooter used for games like Helldivers 2 or Deep Rock Galactic? Not necessarily. They haven't been, because I really believe the difference of PvP or PvE makes all the difference in the world. But I guess on a fundamental level, the same idea of risk and reward kind of apply to both. And loot. Yeah, I guess you get loot in Helldivers. It's samples. Where did that ghost rat come from? Okay. Oh, these switches are still hit, though. Ow! Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what I find fascinating now are going to be the companies that have to do it again, but the people doing it aren't the ones who even did it the first time, and the people who did it the first time wouldn't even be capable of doing it again because it was accidental, or it was due to the work, the desperate work of 100 impassioned employees that have all since been laid off. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I think we're going to get an era of just like the most pathetic Me Too kind of games. Even though we already kind of had them, it's about to get worse. From big companies. Small companies, you get this shit. You get, like, interesting ideas that are appropriately priced and executed with incredible artistic talent, unique visions, cool ambiance. AAA is not going to be this. It's going to be nothing like this. All of the joy and like creative spirit has been crushed, or will soon be crushed out of it. You can't expect anyone to show up to work after completely killing 2 studios out of nowhere with no reasonable explanation and expect them to give you good work. I wouldn't. If I were their managers, I'd say, fuck this place. Just start coasting. I'll make up excuses for all of us. Let's start searching around. Anyway. Is this game fun? Yes! Oh, hello. Ooh, okay. It is indeed fun. What? Woo! This angry boy is trying to peck my ass. Love the sound effects, man. Excellent. How good is that? They made his neck just long enough? Very Metroid, kind of. Yeah, alien moment for sure. Mm-hmm. The little extendo face. Hello there. Maybe he'll spear charge me if I get close enough and break those blocks. Hello? Hello? Maybe not. Oops. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh my. Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Comrade Haggis. Thanks for the sub. I'm over here stroking my Riddick. I got lotion on my Riddick right now. I'm just stroking my shittick. I'm horny as Vin, man. I'm a freak, man, like for realsies. Just sitting here cranking my Vin, thinking about Riddick. Amen, brother. Hey, can Webby publish a Riddick game? This game's cool and all, but where's Riddick? I'm looking at this beautiful scene with all these little worms and beautiful waterfalls and dangly bioluminescent whatevers, and all I can think of is where's Riddick? I'm looking for it. Right.
Every morning I wake up and open palm, slam and listen to the slap. It's chronicles of Riddick and Red, and in there I start doing the moves alongside with the main character. Riddick, I do every move and I do every move hard, and I can always sing sounds when I slam in some negro bastards, or even when I mess up technique. How many can say they escaped the Galax's most dangerous prison? I can, I say it and I say it. I put every day to people in my college class, and all they do is prove people in college class can still be amateur jackers.
It's tough out there. We've gone through a long winter, all of us Riddick fans. Yo. Oh, rad. We got a grapple hook? We grappling? Maybe? Alright. It just kind of likes crawling. Oh, it probably hits switches, I bet. Yeah. I bet it hits things. Lighting is so neat. It is so neat. This game is good. This is a good game. Oh. All right. There it is. I gotta give a little more heft. Immaculate yo-yo physics. Yeah, there's a lot of like neuron tickling in this game. Like I said, the rhythmic tick 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 of the platformers, the bobbling of the yo-yo is really pleasing to look at. The swingy physics pair with the pixel graphics super well. Like, it's not a straight line. It's pixels. This bird. That's such a pleasing sound. Everything's been made with an eye for coziness, which makes the few moments that something actually like disturbing or disquieting is happening stick out. And that's mostly telegraphed through sound design. It definitely uses a different, darker, colder color temperature for a lot of the enemies or other aggressive elements. Aha! Learning the masters of yo-yo. Reddit View said it's only 34 megabytes? Like how? Yeah, it is. It's only 30 megabytes. It's all pixels, man. I'm sure that the music is probably synthesized and not sampled, so you just need the samples. You don't need, like, CD audio tracks for everything. Games don't have to be huge if they invite your imagination. Oh, this whole screen is just dots. It's just dots. That's all you're looking at. Dots ain't big. There's a treasure chest down there. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know why COD is so fucking huge. Get your shit together, Call of Duty. I guess maybe I gotta come up to it from the bottom. It's all the freedom. Freedom isn't free. It's approximately $120 for an extra hard drive, apparently. Yeah, Donkey published the game. Which, nice. Different publishers have different involvement levels. Some will give broad creative notes as feedback on milestones or something, but largely a publisher is involved with the financing and sale of a game. So I give you all the money to make the game up front. You give me the game. Great. Now I upload it to Steam. I decide what the price is going to be. I arrange the cover art. I write the copy, all that stuff. So it's the party that generally takes the risk, but also can be involved with, like, in terms of films and stuff, the producer, like, will sometimes staff the roles of a film. So a producer might pick director or casting agent or something like that. Some publishers can have that level of input. Well, yeah, weirdos trying their best to call it his downfall for wanting to get into publishing. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. People in games media are shitty. Oh! Oh, that's cute. Gotta bonk him in the back and he drops his stuff. And then he chases you? Why does he have a little... Huh? He picked up a thing. Can you turn them into platforms? Hey! Yeah, I don't know. I also remember, like, this is also purely connected to 2000s, 2010s era games media. I remember looking forward to, like, getting into the scene because then surely I'd be surrounded by people who, you know, like writing and like video games, right? Or like creating online media about video games. No, turned out to not be the case either. A lot of people were just, like, really spiteful, shitty, backbiting, jealous, kind of coddled, entitled. It's like, man, you guys kind of suck. So, Have you ever watched a Donkey reviews? No, absolutely not. Their popularity means I would probably hate them. They would probably drive me fully insane. So I stay away from them. Honestly, the less I hear of other people's gaming opinions, the easier it is for me to hold them in higher esteem. And that's my failing, by the way. That's me being a turbo nerd. But I'm trying to, like... That's how I control myself, I guess. It's the most hipster thing Lawrence has ever said. That's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. I don't know. Like, Skill Up tweeted some dumb shit about Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC. And I'm gonna probably see him at Summer Game Fest, so... I'll just have to be polite and pretend that I didn't see it. That's the way to go. Have you seen Mega 64's Stellar Blade video? Yes, it was beautiful. It was beautiful and I loved it. Okay, so I guess I need to grab one of the... things. Or get get the guards to bring it over here? Oh, wait, no, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. What if I walk the yo-yer? The yo-yer. Oh! But yeah, Celeblade video, perfect. Absolutely on point. Beautiful satire. Oh. The only way to stay sane while everyone tells you to care about a random influence you couldn't care less about is to detach the influencer from their body of work. Well, that's literally what I said when the stream started. I agree, obviously. But people bring it up, so... Oh, it's one of the animals. It's natural for people to bring it up. And I either ignore it from the audience or I address it. And I'd rather address it. I'd rather address it and be cranky and demeaning about it than ignore it. Ugh, really haven't followed games media since the Gersman era of Giant Bomb ended. There's good shit out there, but man, what bugs me is that games media has basically slipped into the modus of all media, which is that it's all so relentlessly sycophantic. It's only there to tell people that already agree with the premise that they're right. Oh, I got squished. And that bothers me, because then it creates a bubble where people repeat untrue things to each other to make each other feel more intelligent and connected. And then suddenly they're confronted with evidence from the outside world that most of their, like, convictions and hackneyed repeated phrases about how games work are just wrong. And I suppose there's not much harm in that, aside from the fact that ostensibly these are the folks that should care the most and know the most about actual games production, as opposed to just saying whatever makes them the most, like, whatever, just like holding whatever line or opinion is the most popular to hold at any given moment. So there's a lot of that. It's unfortunate, though. The form that often takes is feeling like we're scolding the audience, which to some degree is hard to get away from. I don't know. That's something I have to figure out. Ah! How do you contradict a popular narrative without people assuming that you are scolding them for buying into it? I don't know. Audiences also have been brain rotted a little bit, where they think the only reason you would report on something or repeat something is if you personally agree with it. Like they're so 1984 pilled that they can't imagine people, like, neutrally reporting on things that they personally don't agree with. Because it seemed like with most other people, it's like the only reason you would say it is because you're trying to spread it. That's the role of media now. Like, bias is just baked in. Oh, right. I have a tool for this. We need PBS game reporters. We tried to. No one watched them. Or people have tried that for sure, but no one watches it. So this is the trick. Is that can I make the rat walk the other way? There he goes. Nice. The trick is to trick people into watching your content, and then have content that tries to lean away from consensus, which is tricky. That's tough, because people won't watch unless you prime them to think it's a certain kind of content, and then you do effectively bait and switch them a little bit. But it was easier to do back in the 2010s, honestly, when clickbait was more obvious and less subversive. Then, back in the day, Bruce would do, like, clickbait headlines that were also kind of parodies of clickbait headlines. So it was a nice place to be. But these days, I don't know. People don't even... That doesn't even work anymore. People want rage bait. And they want people basically giving them permission to go all in on rage bait. People love clear, easy villains. People love calls to systemic... People, I mean, I guess it's just mob stuff. I find the parody of clickbait and clickbait indistinguishable on modern YouTube. They are. They are. The only distinguishing is in the actual content. Oh, kitties. That's right. Luckily now you have Inside Games, so you no longer have to question where to get modern intellectual gaming news coverage from. Oop. Ah! How to get it to oops. It goes up. I don't know. This may not be a yo-yo situation. The random loud forceful meows are perfect. This isn't gonna end well for me. Like I can hear the little mirrors echoing down the hallways. Oh, you gotta hit it with the yo-yo. All right. B is for ban. I'm having a great time. This is an awesome game. Oh, ah! I didn't know he'd switch that fast. Okay, well, I learned something. I think it's on the whole screen. I thought it had to be like on plane with the mouse. Hello, Neo Excelsior. Sorry for being rude. You were rude? Well, I don't remember, so you're forgiven. This is finally the Citizen Kane of gaming. Yes. God. Thank you for reminding me of that annoying phrase. I don't think anything defines the ignorance of aughts gaming journalism more than the repeated use of that fucking phrase. I remember hearing that and being like, it was Pac-Man. It was Tetris. It happened already. But your pretentious ass didn't see it. Wasn't paying attention. Shit! Bert! Bert! Fuck. masterpiece. See here, the 2010s is when everyone said visceral. Every game was visceral. What's the... I don't read a lot of game reviews now, for the aforementioned reasons. PC Gamer and Eurogamer published some pretty well-written reviews, but good god. Most blog reviews are like... they're written for mass audiences, so they don't say a lot of things or convey a lot of things that I find particularly interesting. Also, I don't know, the goal of a lot of reviews has definitely shifted towards... shit, man, how do you get out of there without dying? Keep remembering. Or keep, forgetting that it's gonna change immediately. Yeah, Draconian was pretty big for a while, talking about... always with DLC, some nose-in-the-air writer used that fucking word, and then everyone couldn't wait to sound smart. Man, seeing like writers adopt each other's turns of phrase was also very depressing. I was like, wow, you guys don't even care about writing. You just say whatever phrase everyone else is saying. Bleh. Bleh. Anyway. Oh, the switch stayed, the switch stayed! I have the appropriate amount of bitterness for a writer, I think. Damn it. How did it not? Hey! I thought that would make a change for sure. What? What's your deal, mouse? Ah! Fuck! Ah! Should have just fell off the other way. Oh yeah. When reviewers could not properly word what they didn't like about a game or its writing, so they'd say it was soulless. I saw that more in like online discourse. It's interesting because I think a game can be soulful, but it like I can kind of describe the elements that make it that way. Also, the dudes that probably have the least soul in their spirits of any living humans use that to describe games as being soulless. It's ironic that the games that a lot of those dudes would consider soulful are mostly just like hyper gamer collection fest big titty action fantasies. It was used very recently for RE4 remake. Yeah, I see it a lot on 4chan. People say it about everything. I mean, that's the other thing about online discourse too, is the cycles of incubated rage bait. You want to talk about soulless? Online games commentary has become particularly soulless. I didn't know. It's just a bunch of, like, trolls successfully rage baiting people into believing dumb shit, and then a bunch of YouTubers jumping on board because it's good for business. Nobody's actually saying what they think. No one's actually playing the games. Again, the Dragon's Dogma thing was deeply disappointing. How few people were like, guys, this is nothing. Everyone else was like, yeah, fuck Capcom. Because that's what people wanted to hear. Of all the companies, too. Oh. Oh. They're on different tracks. Wow. too many reviewers trying to sound like their opinion is grander than just that. Yeah. Try to use flowery language to say I just didn't like how the shooting game, or I didn't like how shooting the game felt. I like how you're trying to take down games writers, but did so in a message completely packed with typos. It bugs me even when people say like I didn't like how the shooting felt. You should have the ability to describe what's wrong. That's what gets me too. Is like, yeah, a lot of writers would be like, this feels bad. I remember as an editor, I'd always push back on that. Be like, how? Describe to me what's going on. And if you don't have the language for that, then you need to reconsider your profession. I didn't say that part out loud. But I was like, you're a writer. This is what you're for, is to put words to things. Well, okay, yeah, I gotta reverse it and then break the... Never mind. That should be common sense, though. It's not. It's not nearly universal. What's enjoyable in a video game? If a professional movie reviewer said, the movie doesn't look good, and left it at that, you'd probably be pretty confused, right? You'd be like, well, is it too dark? Is it too bright? Do the colors not match? Is the framing bad? Is it out of focus? Does the framing of scenes not match the emotional energy? Like, come on, man. You do this for a fucking living. You write for me, writer man. Writer person. Paint a picture for me. Tell me what I need to know, which is whether or not I will like it. Oh. I'm gonna guess that goes back. I'm gonna hope that goes back. I'm gonna ride this over here. Aha! I found the other platforms that I need to reverse. The real truth of it is, again, I have to clarify because I want to make sure that I'm not talking shit about anyone that I didn't actively work with, but in the aughts and the 2010s, games writers were not writing for the audience. They were writing for other writers. And they were writing for developers. Nice. Because they all wanted jobs in games, but they did not want to be like traditional game developers. They just wanted to be cool and hang out and have people listen to their gaming opinions, which often like could net the better behaved ones jobs in community or PR. But yeah, that was what I ran into, is like the writing was an afterthought. And it was only there to like make other writers be like, oh. And I was like, you want to impress other writers? Again, these are things that were left unsaid, but I remember thinking like, I've read this person's writing and these are the people you want to impress? Beautiful. Ow. Took the wrong shark tube. Hey, Nightlight 1777. I am having a great day. I really am. Had a nice stretch this morning. Ate some leftovers and had some coffee for breakfast. So that's efficient. Had a nice lunch. This game rocks. I'm being cantankerous while playing it. That's what kind of bugged me. In the first Gamergate go around, was like, we need ethics in gaming journalism or whatever. Part of me was like, you guys are close but wrong. I don't know why you're blaming women. Well, I know why you're blaming women, but the truth is, yeah, a lot of these gaming journos are shitty, and you are trying to express that you want more authentic gaming media. because it is getting awfully pretentious and crappy and disconnected. But leave it to the gamers to express themselves in the worst possible way and also attack the wrong targets. Ooh. Aw, shucks. I still can't get through there. But I also hate women. True. I like how that got caught by automod. So you said kidding for no reason and then admitted to hating all women. I mean, honestly, that is the truth of it, is that it was a mixture of hating women but also feeling like gaming media was getting insincere. And as usual, the gamers picked the weaker target. That's what also bugs me about gamer activist culture. They always choose the weakest targets. It's just bullying at that point. I reversed the thing. Yeah, I gotta go back down there. Automod is an extension of cancel culture. It is. Oh, I can't get back down there now. Oh, I can take the shark. And then, yeah, Ryder, Gamergate was also inflated by right-wing culture war douchebags. Yeah, it was a sociological experiment. And the very dudes that thought that they were breaking free of the chains of modern culture were in fact just guinea pigs in figuring out the next way to manipulate the masses. So that's fun. But that's part of any good, like, snow job campaign, right? You've got to convince the very people that you're playing for a rube that they're the smartest ones in the room. So now I guess I gotta reverse the other mouse again, or I try to jump my way across. Yeah? Bloosh. Alright, now we're in business. I don't think I want to go to this. I've already done the... Yes, okay. Yeah. One of these days, white dudes will get their fair shake. One of these days. Dude, if I didn't have to compete... If I only had to compete with other white dudes... White dudes suck, by the way. Some of the laziest, shittiest, like, worst bosses I've ever had. It's funny, I was actually texting that to, I think it was Yami, kind of complaining about my work history, and then she just kind of said, have all your bosses been men? And I was like, I didn't even think about it, and when, like, suddenly it was like, boom, 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 all the dominoes fell. Granted, you know, that's an awfully minimizing way to look at it, but yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, I need the other ones to go the other way. Shoot! How do I do that? Where was that? That's down here, right? Oh, wait. Bruce is the only good boss I've ever had. No, that's not true. When I worked at GameStop, the manager of my GameStop was awesome. Really cool guy. He let me borrow his Beastie Boys CD. Really good with customers, like, learned a lot from him. Brandon, if you're listening, you were the first good boss I ever had, and then Bruce was the second. Yeah, Bruce is every ethnicity. Bruce is the mixing pot of America condensed into one human. He's actually every gender, too. He'd never tell you that because he's embarrassed, but I'll tell you that. Aw, man. Bruce is like 15 genders they haven't even invented yet. Whoa! I'm hoping we can get the exclusive on a Bruce gender reveal on Inside Games. Yes. You have any cool GameStop stories? A few, I guess. I remember there was one night where some dude came in. This was when GameStop was selling DVDs. He came in and he was like all red and sweaty. And he was like, hey. And And already I was like, all right, I guess this guy's here to trade stuff in. I don't know. After a while, I kind of got used to the I just stole some stuff and need to turn it into money look. But he wasn't there for that. No. Instead, he was like, do you guys sell adult DVDs? And I remember just kind of like... I was like, well, I guess it's a reasonable ask, but of all places. And it looked like he was in a hurry, too. And I was like, I responded, I was like, you like porn? And he's like, yeah, I like porn. And I just kind of stood there for a second again because I couldn't help but like, you try to piece together whatever series of events had led him to busting into GameStop at like 9 p.m. at night. Probably on meth. Meth was pretty hot. But all sweaty and addled, looking for porn. And I was like, nah, sorry, you know, we don't carry porn here. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he just kind of stomped out. And then I turned to look at, like I had a coworker at the time, and we both just started laughing. Yeah, the customer's on drugs. I remember this other guy came in and he was just like mega hot. Like literally, but also was picking fights over everything and just kind of being disagreeable and aggressive. I think he was trying to trade stuff in, which is never fun. And he was like yelling at me about all the prices, and I was like, yeah, it sucks, man. It's, don't do this. Everyone that came in would inevitably complain about the trade-in prices, and then I would tell them to sell their shit on eBay and make lots more money, and then they would trade it in while grumbling about it. So I'm like, all right, buddy. Anyway, dude was really hot, arguing about shit. And then he came back into the store later and apologized. It was like, hey, I came... And I'm gonna guess it might have been part of his program now that I think about it. But I remember being like, well, that was weird, because his apology was also quite aggressive. He was like, hey, came in here and I said some stuff that wasn't right, and I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. I was like, okay. And he was like, no, it's not okay. So I like had to role play having a moment of catharsis or a moment of forgiveness, because that's what he was looking for. Okay. Like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It meant a lot that you would come back and apologize. Thanks. And then he left, and it was just like, just another like, huh. Alright, one more. I had to forgive a customer for yelling at me over not giving him a vitamin discount. Yeah. Oh, it got worse than that. There weren't a ton of times that, like, I had a manager throw, or like force me to do that kind of stuff, but I got pretty good at de-escalating on my own, believe it or not. I think it was there. Why is the wall all cronked right here? Ugh. Floor spitters? That's CEX? British CEX? Yeah. Not a lot of people spitting on the floor. I was pretty lucky. I didn't have... My GameStop wasn't in a mall, which is where all the horror stories happen. And largely where, like, parents take their kids to be babysat for hours. Mine was just in a strip mall. Although there was one night where, I was just calmly closing the store. I think it was after hours. And then there was just a loud bang out of nowhere. Entire, like, building shook. Ran outside. There was a truck that had, like, jumped across the median, bombed over this, like, hill that was sort of separating the road from the parking lot, crossed the parking lot and slammed into a shop that was just, like, 3 shops down. And, like, had crashed into the rolling shutter gate. So, that was pretty cool. Oh. This music's really Twin Peaksy. It seems like it's the solution to this, but it doesn't seem to be working. Need to go back anyway. Explore the area out there more. Do I though? I hit some of those switches. There's one there. Didn't see that coming. Oh shit. Oh, fuck you. Oh! It actually maintains its position across screens too, which is really interesting. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, there's vines there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oof. Completely fucked. Any cool interactions you had with customers, or do you only remember the bad stuff? Oh, there's a trading card. Hey, Roland. Let's draw that card. No, there were good ones. I remember there was a... There was a customer that would come in every so often that was just kind of an older lady, and she was really nice and a very unique customer for that time. But we'd just, like, she'd come in, she'd buy a game, we'd chat for a little bit. Yeah, she was just really friendly. I also remember there were a couple of other... I remember working the midnight launch for Burning Crusade, the World of Warcraft expansion. And that was awesome too, because a lot of people that didn't normally come into the store showed up for World of Warcraft. All ages and genders, it was great. Instead of... Like, I was also near college. I mean, I was going to college, so, you know, a lot of younger dudes. And families and stuff, so... To see, like, older lady gamers... Also, specifically for Burning Crusade night, 2 ladies showed up in their bathrobes, and they were like, hey, we're here. I even took some photos of them that I think are still on my hard drive somewhere, because they were like, yeah, and then they were like, we're just gonna go home and play. I was like, yes. So I like that shit a lot. I do ship to Poland, Roland. Don't worry. Don't worry. And here's your card. Whatcha? Whoa. The Democrat. Who's that young buck who has yet to have his dick sucked? It's Bill Clinton. The major issue. It has been a long road for Bill Clinton. He has met his opponents within his own party and defeated them in primaries and caucuses across the land. He must now focus on the fight ahead and convince the electorate that he is the one to lead America the next 4 years. You know, he said after winning a primary, we are now living in a time where ambition is a bad thing. So people who have it go to extraordinary lengths to mask it, which I think is less honorable than just admitting that you believe in the value of public service and you want to be a part of it. Wow. The only president to guide the U.S. to a budget surplus for a little bit. And then George W. said, no! What if we took all that money and gave it to rich people instead? And then gave the American people like $200. Works every time. Stimulus check. And then they did! And then they did it again! And then they did it again. And then they did it again. Actually, I think there were only 2 more big waves. It was George W. and then Trump, really. massive transfers of public funds to private businesses and individuals. If there's one thing Americans love, it's toiling for rich people that don't care if we live or die. Now that's an institution I can get behind. I still want to hit that button though, because I don't have the power for it yet. I want to work until I'm 80. It's fascinating to see like Fox News talk about that shit. People don't want to work anymore. And then you have like boomers being like, I will grind up my bones for the sake of the GDP. It's amazing how effective propaganda can be. Oh, what's this? What's this? The sacred flame. Didn't do anything right? Wrong. Space Force. Space Force is real. The sacred flame. G-flame. Well, I just have it. It's just part of me now. It's real, but is it funded? I don't care. I'd rather it not be. But as long as we got a logo, as long as we got a cool looking suit. Trump will also settle Trump will settle questions no one had the audacity to ask about the legality of the Constitution. That's fun. Maybe America will have its first king. I guess FDR was probably really the first one. What's that? Oh, it's more dynamite. God, those explosions are so good. RDJ. RJD2? R2D2. Bomna? Yeah, he got our high flow toilets back. So I have flame now. What does that do? I have the bee flame. It's like me every time I eat hot sauce, you know? I get that bee flame. Flames in my bee. You know what I'm talking about? My butthole is what I'm talking about. Butt flame. Flames in my ass. Ow! Uh-oh. I did it again! Yeah, stimulus checks. That solved everything. Remember that 400 bucks or whatever it was? 1,200? Everyone paid their rent with that, and we all quit our jobs and decided to stop working. We all got lazy and didn't want to go to offices anymore because we loved going to offices before. Let me tell you, I miss going to an office. Miss it a lot. Miss driving. Miss parking. I miss people eating all the good snacks. Miss people being shitty and petty over like small stuff that doesn't matter. I miss sitting in bad chairs. Going to meetings that don't matter. I miss it all, baby. Water cooler talk? Yeah, please tell me your opinions about fucking Game of Thrones. I miss having to watch Marvel movies just to have something to talk about with coworkers that obviously don't care about me. Oh, it's so great. Oh, if I could just die in an office, I'd be happy. Maybe I have to take the bee flame to the flame. Or maybe I have to collect many flames. Yeah, that's probably it. I probably have to collect the 4 flames. What do you think that means? That happened before. I feel like I have to take a shark tube to get out of this area, but I don't remember where it is. Also looks like there's something over here. Yeah. Oh, there's a shark tube. What do you know? Oh. Yeah, the pizza parties. That's what I love. I miss being compelled to work extra hours for no compensation. Honestly, though, there is a magic that happens when people are in a space together. But they have to have, like, downtime together to relax and express themselves creatively and play. But that's where a lot of the cool shit comes from. That's where a lot of the value being in an office comes from. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the people crave the crucible. Cubicle. Same shit. Give the people the cubicle. Who are you to deny a man his cubicle? Oh! That was dumb. Been made to work 50 hours of overtime in 1 week? Good God. Were you at least paid for it, DVS? Because let me tell you, there's a really fun thing about being salaried. All they have to do is give you more work than you can do in 40 hours and then make it seem like that's a normal amount of work. Simply overwork your employees. Well, let me go up to the left. I don't think I'll be able to get this one. Oh! I was wrong. Okay, so I think that's a shortcut. No, it's not. New area. Ooh. Ooh. 420 East Coast? Nice. Nice, nice.
Every morning.
No, I don't know that.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Good job. Whoa. Just want you to know I'm proud of you. Where was that other candle? There was another candle. Oop. And even the sound of the rocks breaking is super comfy. This is good, though. I do like the bold outlining on the rooms. Makes it very clear when there's an exit you haven't taken. Or even in the case of this thing on the lower right there, when there's a section or a hidden part inside of a room you haven't even explored fully. Hello, duck. Boy, what did we do to deserve ducks? Cute little dudes. But they're also really ornery. I don't know, ducks are great. They make stupid sounds. They have bills. They waddle around. When I started my career, I worked 14 days a week, 12-hour days, and it was great. Someone had a great idea to move to a regular 2 days off a week, 8.5-hour day. 75% of the staff quit. The rest of us had to pick up the slack. Eesh. Again, as long as you were compensated. Capybara! I'm a huge fan of any system that lets people work at the pace they want and be compensated accordingly. That was one of the first frustrations I hit when I became a software developer out of college. I was like, I'm working 50-hour weeks and I don't want to. I'm making enough money. Why can't I stop? I tried to come to some agreement with my employer. Like, can't I just work 30 hours a week? And they're like, no. They like just could not make any exception. All right, I quit. Fuck you. I had to wait until I got a contracting job, which was closer to what I wanted, where it was just I billed for the hours, so I could work really hard if I had nothing else going on, or kind of back off if I had other things I wanted to do. Oh, another little guy. Meep, meep, meep. A lot of Metroid sensibility in some of the animals you run into. They're just doing their thing. These are gamers for sure. You gaming, bro? Put a gamer on it. I don't mind working the standard 40. Anything over 40 though, and I'm not happy. Yeah, I feel like 40 is it's a decent amount. It's a decent, like, bell curve amount. I feel like 40 is a good range for most folks. Some people probably less. Some people probably more. We got another little guy making weird noises. Is that a chinchilla? It's a chinchilla! I love chinchillas. You should never do this to a chinchilla, though. Meow. Oh, is he petting me? I thought he pet me. No, we're just sitting next to each other. Okay, I think I was doing this. But yeah, chinchillas are animals of prey, so they freak out when you come down from above. Feels like a bird trying to grab them. Oh, I think there's a thing here. No? I like how his little ears fold down. Did you know chinchillas cannot sweat? So they use their ears to radiate heat from their bodies. That also means they'll die if it gets too hot. Pretty easily. Well, yeah, their ears are like giant heat sinks. That's why they have tons of veins in them. Yeah, that's why if you have a chinchilla, you need air conditioning. Anyway, I used to have chinchillas, is what I'm saying. They're really cute and somewhat trainable. They like raisins. Yeah, sweating is an anomaly. It is uncommon. Yeah, they have really dense fur. You gotta give them dirt baths so that they can rub the dirt in their furs and keep their fur all dry. And it's really cute because they jump in the dirt and just like blah, 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 just wiggle around and roll on their backs and kick their tiny little legs into the air. I didn't even see that treasure chest. More chinchilla facts. Let's see. Chinchillas need to have like rodentia teeth. So they need to gnaw on things to keep their teeth filed down. So you gotta buy them like a little chinchilla chewer. And here's the follow-up fact. I actually kind of liked the sound. Whenever they would like grab it with their tiny chinchilla hands and just kind of like scrape their teeth on it. It actually made a pretty pleasing scrapey sound. I don't know why. Occasionally too, they would sleep on their sides, like they'd flop over and stick their little legs out. That's super cute. One time I bought like a 6-pack of beer, and they also like chewing on cardboard. So if I ever had like a cardboard packaging or something, or like a box that didn't have tape on it, I would stick it in there. Yeah, guinea pigs munching. Chinchillas are kind of the same way. Herbivores eating is always like the pleasant kind of chew, because it's just like, it's just a lot of crunching. It's not the wet kind of like smorshing of a human being eating. That's way less enjoyable. They also make little honks. Not quite like this in the game. They do like little tiny squeaks and honks and stuff. They make little chirps. It's really cute. They also have to run a lot. So there's a variety of running instruments that chinchillas can use. I got a chin spin. They have to be pretty hardcore equipment too, because chinchillas aren't tiny and they can go fast. So you need a pretty well-maintained chinchilla wheel. Oh, look at that. Ah, I like how his little Pikachu cheeks light up to tell you what stimulus he's reacting to. It was the same with the mice too. Their eyes would turn green when they saw the yo-yo. How do they taste? Nutty. Gamey. I don't know. I'd imagine like a rabbit. Oh, that's cool. You wouldn't get a lot of meat off a chinchilla, though. Like gamey pork. Huh. Alright. Chinchillas are exceptionally cute when they grab things with their tiny chinchilla hands. Big fans of that. Chinchilla's diets is like, it's pellets and hay, basically. Which is a problem if anyone has like hay fever or allergies. Oh, I can't get that yet. I need whatever ability gets me past these boxes. Maybe I can bubble up from the other side. Nope, I still can't get over there, yeah. But then I found out you can, oh, you can switch that way. Oh. You can get compressed hay cubes. So they're basically like hay, alfalfa hay or whatever, compressed into like these tiny cubes that you can just put in the cage, and then they'll just munch on that. I have to admit though, it's nowhere near as satisfying as seeing a chinchilla grab like a whole stalk of hay with his tiny little hand and then chomp on it. That's great. Do they enjoy pets? Or do they enjoy being pets? Not really. They don't really enjoy being touched or held. You can train them to do it if you give them treats and stuff, but they're not snuggly. The aforementioned heat issue is kind of why. They actually don't really care for the feeling of your body heat. And I think that kind of makes them antsy and can overheat if you hold them for too long. I got like a chin cooler or whatever. It's like a marble slab essentially that just can stay cold. And they would sleep on that sometimes. But yeah. Ooh, spooky. Oh! Oh. These blocks don't activate when it's dark. So I have to find a way to go spooky time. Yes! Chinchillas do a thing where they grab something, but if they don't like it, they'll throw it away in a really adorable way. Yeah, their brains kind of shut down sometimes. So one of my favorites was like, yeah, a chinchilla grabs something and then just sit there for a second, like thinking and processing, and then just go, eh. Like it's such a dismissive motion whenever they decide they have no time for something. Just throw it away without even looking. It's great. I would try to get them to hold things all the time, just so they would like drop it. And I could be like, ah! What's really weird is sometimes they'll be buffering or whatever. I swear sometimes they sleep with their eyes open because I would go into the cage and I'd like poke one and he'd be like standing there and I'd be poking him in the belly and be like, ugh. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, fuck! And then he'd like freak out a little bit. And I'd be like, all right, okay, buddy, whatever. I guess he was sleeping. But sometimes they would do that, like, just sitting there. I would have like a raisin, which they normally always love, and then I'd hold it in front of him and he'd just be staring at it. And then I'd be holding a raisin and just staring, and I would like poke it into his mouth, and he'd be like, doing nothing. And then suddenly it would click and he'd grab it with his tiny little hand and eat it. So I don't know. Weird little guy. Whoa. Lizard! He's probably gonna eat me though. It's making an ominous sound. Yep. Ah, I have got to pick up another phone. This one sucks. What was your chinchilla's name? I had two. Oingo and Boingo. I actually should go visit them. When I moved out to California, I was moving to a place that didn't have air conditioning, so I gave, like, a friend was willing to take them in, which I'm very grateful for. That same friend then also moved to LA and still has my chinchillas. Well, his chinchillas at this point. He's had them for much longer than I have. But still, I should go visit them. That would be weird. I think that's part of why I haven't, is because I don't know if I'm ready for the feelings. Exactly like the band. I'll give you one guess which band I was super into when I named the chinchillas. Yeah, they live for a long time. 20 years if you take care of them well. Yeah, I had a pretty major life disruption that I wasn't expecting. Attack me out of revenge? That would be interesting. I don't know what a chinchilla attack would be like. I guess biting would be the worst, but aside from that, they just have their tiny little hands. It's like watching rabbits fight. If you sub, you avoid the 5 ads in a row that show up. Yes. Subs do not see ads. Yeah, they could eat my toes. And you know what? I hope they do. I want them to. They've earned it. I've abandoned them. Blam. Blem. I wonder. Blem. Oh. Nope. Nope, he ate my ass. Yeah, big Twin Peaks energy in the save room music. How do you deal with the death of a family pet? You don't? You suffer? That's kind of it. There's no guide to processing loss. It's part of life. Yeah, it's a process. It sucks, and it will continue to suck for a while. The thing is, too, everyone processes loss in a different way. So some people wanna feel it in solitude. Other people want friends around. So I guess just accept that it'll be bad, because it will. Like, you don't need to fight being sad. And from there, it's just kind of down to whatever makes you feel better. Don't deny yourself the things that might make you happy, as though suffering more shows more respect to a forgotten pet or something like that. That's the only thing I can say, is because I've fallen into that trap. Like, the worse I feel, the more real this feeling is. You know, I don't know where I'm going with that. Grief gets pretty illogical, but like, just don't be afraid to do nice things for yourself or do things that make you feel good. you're not showing disrespect by seeking out comfort. And that can be like a meal, time with friends. Drinking is tricky, because that can lead to some bad spirals, especially if you're still processing a loss, but it can be fun once or twice to try to get the feelings out. Bad habit to slip into, though. And I'm saying that having made a habit out of it to process a loss. Sweepy. Speepy. Oh dear. Blim. What the? Oh, he's spit. Yeah, he's firing eye blood. Nice. Blip. What did he grab? Blip. Alice DeAngelo, I'm enjoying this game a lot. This game's great. Fantastically made. Great premise. Super playable. Really, really smart in how it laid everything out. Pixel art is fantastic. Ambient audio is on point. Very minimalistic, but it's got everything where it counts. Platforming is really fun. How much is this game? I think it cost me 18. I think it's 20, but like 10% off with a new discount. Or just launched discount thing. It's been crushing. We know that he was well loved. Getting his ashes back yesterday, and it's been a blessing to help keep moving forward. Yeah. Yep. You know, give yourself time, but then at some point also, you gotta slip back into life. But that can happen at whatever pace it needs to. Hopefully. Yeah. Oh, a slink. What does it do? Slink. Great. Oh, okay, you put it... Ah, ha, ha, ha. Perfect. Okay, so this is how you can hit one switch. And that makes it respawn? Okay, perfect. Man, that's a dated reference right there. The kids nowadays even understand the slinky. I worry, like, that would be an interest... That's the first time where I'm like, somebody may not intuitively know what this item does. It's crazy how much of a great advice is touch grass. Yeah, it does kind of come back to that at sometimes. I mean, usually that's said to help people get perspective. Ooh. But in this case, yeah, just returning to normalcy, appreciating a moment of appreciating a moment. I feel like, yeah, you have to be able to get that get that dude out of the way. So throwing firecrackers makes him squirt eye blood. I see. Well, I've acquired Slinky. What does that mean now? Actually, I think that means it's time to check out the next game here. I bought Crow Country, which is a likewise minimalistic survival horror game, but it's much more PS1 style. Pre-rendered backgrounds. Is he eating these things? What did he eat? Oh, it's the shrub. Maybe if he eats enough shrubs, something will happen. Oh, oh. Got some ice squirts. Well, that's it. Unless you can get this one. Oh. I'm gonna go answer this phone first. Seen serum yet? No. What is it? Herb? Hey! Interesting. Ah! They have a mechanic to make sure you can't just bubble jump everywhere. Ah! It's on that screen too. Cool. Okay. Crow country time. Time for crows and their country. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching.